Okay, so get this. Evolutionarily speaking, you can't prove a reptile isn't a bird's ancestor just because they can't have kids anymore.
Wait, hold on. Are you serious? That can't be right. Come on. A species is a species. It's simple.
Is it really that simple? Or is that just, the 10th grade biology version they fed us to keep everything in neat little boxes?
Okay, look, forget 10th grade. We're talking about the scientific gold standard here. It has worked for decades for a reason.
It's called the biological species concept, Ernst Mayr, 1942. It's easy. If they can breed and make viable offspring, they're the same species. If they can't, they're different species. Clean, testable. What is the problem?
The problem? The problem is that's just a snapshot in time. It's completely obsessed with a process, breeding, that can be temporary. Real biology, modern biology, is about the pattern, their shared history. That's the part you can't erase. You're looking at what they can do right this second. I'm talking about what they are, fundamentally, based on their history. No, listen to this part. Your precious gold standard is completely worthless for most life on this planet. What about bacteria, fungi, anything that reproduces asexually? The whole idea of interbreeding is meaningless for them. So what, they're just not species according to your perfect little rule?
All right, fine. So it has its limits, its blind spots, but for most animals, it works. Oh, does it though? Does it really? What about two populations of squirrels on opposite sides of the Grand Canyon? Or fish across the Pacific Ocean? You can't actually test their potential to interbreed. It's not objective science at that point. It's just a guess, a judgment call.
And here's the real nail in the coffin. Thanks to modern genomics, that whole idea of a perfect, impregnable wall of reproductive isolation is a total fantasy. I mean, we have pig genera that have been evolving on separate paths for millions of years. And guess what? They can still hybridize. The so-called barrier is more like a flimsy garden fence. Okay, let me try an analogy. The BSC, it's like saying you only count as a person once you hit puberty and can have kids. It makes that one single trait, reproductive ability, the entire definition of being human. But the new way of thinking, the general lineage concept, says no, you're a person from the moment you're born. The species exists from the instant its lineage splits off and starts its own unique evolutionary journey. All the other stuff, that's just growing up. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, fine. Let's say I throw your precious interbreeding out the window. What are you left with? Just history? How do you even draw a line? Where does one thing end and the next begin? You look at the family tree. It's that simple. And the absolute ideal, the dream for anyone doing this kind of work, is a monophyletic group. Think of it as a perfectly clean branch on the tree of life. It's one ancestor and all of its descendants. Nobody gets left out, nobody extra sneaks in. It's a perfect, tidy historical package.
Okay, that I can get behind. Clean is good, sounds tidy. I like tidy.
Right! Who doesn't love tidy? Except evolution doesn't give a damn about our tidy little boxes. It's a mess. And that's where you get paraphyly. This is when you've got the ancestor, but you've kicked out one of the kids because they got weird. It's like having a family reunion, but telling your cousin Steve he can't come because he dyed his hair and joined a rock band. That's exactly what we did with reptiles. We kicked the birds out, even though birds are literally just the rock star descendants of dinosaurs.
So you're telling me our entire classification system is wrong just because it's not perfectly organized? I'm saying we need to stop trying to organize it and start trying to describe it. We have to accept the mess because the mess is the truth. History is what really happened. Our neat little boxes are the fiction we made up. Look, just walk through a speciation event with me. You have an ancestral species, we'll call it species A. It's just trucking along, doing its thing. Then a small group on the edge, D1, gets isolated and starts evolving in a new direction. Eventually, we look at D1 and say, wow, that's different, and we give it a brand new name. But what about the original group, A? It's still there, mostly unchanged. But now, just because we put a label on its kid, D1, the ancestral group A is suddenly considered paraphyletic. It's a problem we literally invented ourselves by naming something. So your solution is to just leave it? Call the original group species A, even though it's technically an incomplete set now? That just feels like sloppy bookkeeping to me. It's not bookkeeping, it's biology. And yes, because that's what actually happened. That ancestral line continued. Forcing everything into these neat little pure monophyletic boxes is all about making our lives easier. It has nothing to do with reality. Okay, but this is chaos. You're telling me we should just embrace the mess. But the result is that nobody can agree on what a species even is. Last I checked, there were over 20 different species concepts floating around. Maybe even 26. It's a total free-for-all.
It looked like chaos, but it was chaos because they were all yelling about the wrong thing, arguing over which trait was the most important one. It's like arguing if a car is defined by its speed or by its color. Then this guy, Kevin DeQueiroz, comes along and says, "You're all missing the point."
He called it the general lineage concept, and it's so simple, it's brilliant. He just pointed out that every single one of those 20-something definitions agrees on one thing. A species is a lineage, a population on its own evolutionary path. That's it. That's the species. All the other stuff, being unable to breed with others, having a distinct look, being a clean group, those are just properties it picks up along the way. They're like a teenager growing a beard. The beard doesn't define him as a person, it's just a trait he acquired. Okay, I'll grant you that's an elegant solution. But seriously, who cares? Outside of this kitchen right now, why does any of this matter?
Oh, it matters more than you could possibly imagine. This shift in thinking has caused something called taxonomic inflation. Since we stopped caring about who can breed with whom and started looking at their actual unique history, the number of primate species, for example, has more than doubled. We've basically been finding new species that were hiding in plain sight this whole time.
So the list gets longer. Big deal.
It's a massive deal. For one, you uncover cryptic species, things that look identical to us but are genetically totally distinct. And for conservation, it's a game changer. You take one species that seems safe, but genetics shows it's actually 5 separate lineages. Suddenly, you don't have one safe species, you have 5 endangered ones. It forces you to question if species is even a real, fundamental unit of nature, or if it's just our own man-made card catalog for the library of life.
Huh. Okay. I hate to admit it, but you've got a point. Embracing the mess, it does feel more honest. My way is easy, it's clean, but yours might be closer to the truth. I guess it all just comes down to one question, doesn't it? Are we classifying life for our own convenience? Or are we trying to describe its messy, inconvenient, beautiful history?